ladies, and welcome to The Beauty Shaman. So I'm here again today with the beautiful Tiffany because she has these wonderful hooded lids, which I think are so appropriate to teach a tutorial on how to do a winged eyeliner on a hooded lid. So I've watched other YouTube videos on this. I feel like most of them are not really catering to older women. So I really want to cater to older women with hooded lids on how to do this look so that it looks very beautiful, very classic. We're definitely going for a very classic look today. So Tiffany's got beautiful black top and showing her shoulders. We're going to do a little bit of a French wave in her hair, very modern. So it'll be sort of a modern classic take on the winged liner. And a lot of the tutorials I watched were very overly dramatic, right? Like, we're older women, we don't want to be overly dramatic. I don't anyway. Like, I want to be classic, right? I don't want to look like I just fell over and hit my head. We want to, like, we're crazy. We want to avoid the insanity, right? So, on all aspects. So anyway, that's what we're going to do today. So thank you so much, Tiffany, for being in my chair again. I love having you in the chair. Have you tried the winged liner?
I'm horrible at it.
Yeah.
It looks like I slept on my makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love a little drama.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Especially now with wearing a mask all the time, that's like my go-to. I can't do my bright lip as easily. I mean, I can, but nobody's going to see it. So if I could do a little more with my eye.
Yeah. So this is a great one for that. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to prep Tiffany's skin. Sorry, I had very little sleep last night, so I might be a little fumbly today. I'm going to prep Tiffany's skin here. We're going to use the Transdermal C Serum and the Biomimetic Mist from Truth Treatments. Both of these are phenomenal to plump the skin, put lots of hydration and vitamin C in there. They're great. So that's what we're going to do. So for starters, we'll just do 2 drops of each. So I'm going to go right in front of Tiffany's face so you can see. So I go 1, 2 of the C Serum. And throw that on the floor. And then we're going to do 2 squirts, of the mist. Just like that. And then I rub my hands together. Put it all over her face.
What's your opinion on rub versus pat?
I don't know. That's a good
Different
question.
People say, oh, you get more if you pat it in versus rubbing. But I like, giving my face a bonus massage when I'm putting my serum on.
I think it's preference, right? I mean, I like to just rub it in.
Slather.
I feel like I'm a slatherer. I just love how that feels, right? To really getting into your skin. So,
such good product.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to use a little, what is this? Smooth Affair Primer by Jane Iredale to keep Tiffany's makeup on all day as she runs around with the kids who are doing home online school, which is...
I should just take selfies of myself all day so I can see my beautiful, if I'm doing a look or makeup, because I'm not going out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super challenging. Do any of you have kids doing home online school? I'd love to hear about that down below. Just put comments. I mean, Tiffany knows what that's like. I do too. I've got one.
Group.
Yeah, we need a support group. Trying to help our kids be online. Oh my gosh, so difficult. Okay, so for foundation, we're going to use Jane Iredale it's called Liquid Minerals. This is what's going to be like in this video. I'm going to be like, what am I saying? Liquid Minerals foundation. So love the Jane Iredale. It's clean beauty, but you want to put it on your hand first, for those of you who don't know, and rub it in. Because it breaks the little beads, and then you put it straight on your skin. Now I'm going to use my fingers for this. But, you can use a brush if you want. You can use a sponge. I'm kind of anti-sponge for older women, especially beauty blenders are totally, if you haven't heard this before, I absolutely hate them. If you have one and you're over the age of 40, chop it up into little bits and give it a funeral. They put too much makeup on your skin. And you want that really sheer look that we're going for here with Tiffany, where you just, you take care of your skin and you just put a sheer foundation on. This is a sheer, light to medium foundation. But really, and brushes are fine. Brushes don't necessarily put it in. It depends on the brush, but I think for most, if you're just doing this yourself, just use your hands.
More to have to clean.
Oh, I know. And more stuff, right? Like, let's just get more stuff, shall we? And I'm a very minimalistic kind of a person. You wouldn't know if you saw all the makeup over here. You'd go, yeah, no, dude. But this is my profession, so that's different. That's the exception. So I'm going to do concealer last because we might get some fall from the product when we do the liner. So I'm going to do concealer last, just, a little heads up there. So I'm going to do a little bit of contour on Tiffany. This is the Bobbi Brown medium. This is a nice contour. Just for a little bit of shade, not a lot. And Tiffany has a thin face. We did a great video together on how to do bronzer on a thin face, so please check that out. I'm just going to lightly brush that up.
I learned so much from that.
Did you? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't want to bring it in too far because then it thins the face out even more. For round faces, you put a lot on the outside to give dimension, but for thin faces, you just got to be sure you don't bring it too far forward. Okay, I'm going to do lips. I'm not really going at this in a very methodical way. I'm doing this in a very creative way because I really want the liner to be the focal point. So everything else on her face is going to be very soft. So we're going to do more of a sheer lip. We're going to do a very, very, very soft eyebrow. That's why I've left the eyebrow, because for me, the balance of a face is what is one of the most important things. So if I'm going to add a little bit of lip gloss and I add too heavy of eyebrow, it's just not going to work, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to get that really soft brow. So for me, lips come first because I've made up my mind on my lip color, and then I'm going to go into the eyeliner. So I'm going to use Natalie by Jane Iredale. So this is a great color. This is Tiffany's color.
I loved it so much I bought it.
She loves it, and it looks amazing on her. So I just love it. It's a lovely pink, but I'm going to blend it with a little bit of a gloss. So this is Viseart. This is called Petal, I think. Petal. So this is Viseart. I love this lip gloss. There's a little bit of vitamin E in it, so it's kind of hydrating. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to blend them on my hand. You can do this on your lips if you want, but I really do not want a heavy lipstick look, right? Because the big focal point is going to be her eyes. So I'm just blending it together like that. See? So I'm really going sheer. If Tiffany just put the lipstick on, she's going to get that lovely kind of, dense color that looks so beautiful. But we're doing more of a very classic look today, so we're going to do very, very sheer lips. And I'm going to use just a very similar, little bit darker of a liner. Notice also I'm doing the liner after I do the shiny lip because I want that lip to be not to have a very strong line associated with it because we're going for very sheer, right, all the way around, except for the eye. And this is very in right now, trend-wise, to do a very sheer look and a strong liner. Very in for fall 2020. So we're going for a very sheer, very soft eyebrow. So what we're going to do is use the Jane Iredale eye pencil. It's got a little cute spoolie on the other end, which is kind of dirty, sorry. And the color is blonde. So we're going to use this to fill in because what we want here is we just want a very, very, very slight eyebrow. Don't want a heavy eyebrow. Just lightly filling that in.
And you always make the line on the top.
I've heard different things of how people do it. For me, I like older women's eyebrows to not look super chiseled. And if you look on like Instagram and a lot of these makeup that the younger generation is doing, it's this very, very chiseled brow. It's fuller now because that's the style. Right. But on older women, it goes towards the insanity section, right? Like, okay, you look a little nutty. So we want to avoid the nuttiness, which is why I do a really, really soft brow without a huge amount of definition to it. For older women, I think this is really important because our faces are already defined, right? So Tiffany, you already have a very strong cheekbone. You have very strong eyes. You've got a very strong face. And so you don't want to put a heavily chiseled brow in with that. That's just my thought on things. We've done her eyebrows. They're very soft, with a very sheer lip, a little bit of bronzer. That's as far as we've gotten, and some foundation. So now I'm going to move into her eyes, and we're going to do, for the just ease of explanation and application, we're going to use this palette. Sorry. This is Lorac Pro. I think this is number 3, but look at that. Woo! So you could tell it's loved. I'm enjoying this one a lot. So we are going to do just a very, very sheer. We're going to use a pink nude color here. And I'm just going to brush this over the top of her lid. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of the clay. We're going to go just in the outer edge and a little bit on top. So we're getting a little bit of definition in there.
Tell me about the brush you're using.
So this is a MAC. I don't know the number. I always have to look up the numbers because they've all worn off on the brush.
Yeah.
But this is a goat hair, so it really puts it on. So if I want a little bit of a heavier application, I use a goat hair brush because it really applies it heavier. So that's why I like this, because I really want that on this particular look. Good for the base. Very good, yeah. Yeah. So I'm taking this up into her brow bone because she's got some lovely real estate here. So we're taking that up and we're just lifting the lid. Now I'm going to use this color here that I'm in love with. It's called Medallion. And this is just a wonderful little bit of a frost. Close. Excuse my fingernails. Just realizing they're a little out of control today. So I'm just going to tap that right on the lid.
This is your sparkly.
This is a little sparkle, which I think is just so, so, so pretty. And I use my finger because of the application. It's going to put the lightest possible application. If you use a brush, sometimes it feels like it's a little much. And I don't take it all the way across the lid, just right in the center. It's just so pretty. So I'm also going to take a little bit through here. Why not? So I'm going to take this color here, this canvas color. And this is also a matte because I want the whole effect of the highlight to be right there. Sometimes if you do highlight on your brow bone and you do highlight in the middle of your eye, it's just too much highlight. It's like highlight is competing with each other. So I like to pick. In doing the eyeliner now for hooded lids, the problem with doing a liner on hooded lids, as many of you know because you've tried this, is when you close your eyes, it looks one way. When you open your eyes, it looks completely another. And like Tiffany said, it looks like she sort of slept in her makeup. It's harder to do. So what we're going to do is do a strategy with the eyeliner where it won't bleed up into the top, right? Because that's what happens is the lid, as it gets heavier, as we get older, it kind of bleeds the makeup a little bit, right? It kind of brushes off into it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we're going to avoid that, but we want that chic little, chic little cat eye.
Yeah,
so we can flirt.
Flirty. Exactly.
Flirting is very important. Even if you're married, it's very important. Tiffany flirts all the time. It's a constant. It's so much fun.
With every creature.
With every creature. Okay, so again, we're sticking with the Lorac Pro here. So I'm going to use, I'm going to go with black because, we're going for more of a dramatic look. And then I'm going to use a black liquid. And we're going to go over the top. In this way, I can make mistakes, clean it off, get it right, and then put the liquid on top. So it's a good strategy just to be sure you don't have that lived-in look, right? So we're going to start with the jet black here on this particular palette. Close. And what we're going to do, actually look straight ahead. So if you look into the camera, you can see the angle of her eye. And it goes beneath, the bottom waterline. And it goes this way. That's where I want to put this. But I don't want to put it out further than the hooded lid. That's the mistake a lot of people make, is you take it and you go too far and then it's disjointed, right? So we only want to go as far as that hooded lid is going to let us go, which isn't too terribly far, because then when she opens up her eyes, it'll look clean, okay? That's the idea. Okay, so we're going to start right between the lashes. That's how I like to think of this. And I've got the camera very tight, if you guys are noticing. And also, I've got the light a little bit more dim today. And the reason for that is so that you can really see what I'm doing. It's harder when the light is really bright. So I'm going to go right there.
This is surgical here.
This is surgery, that's right. This does take a little longer. You got to practice it for sure. I'm going to go right next to her lashes. And I'm going all the way over because on Tiffany's eyes, she can totally handle this. If you can't, if you feel like it's just too much makeup, okay, look down, but don't close. You want to go right into that corner. Okay, look straight ahead. Okay. Okay, so back to our liner. So you can see how beautiful and how much just having that liner has opened up Tiffany's eyes. Like, look at that. Just wow, right? Like big time wow. Okay, so now do me a favor and just look straight ahead. So you can see that bottom line. Okay, go ahead and close. And I'm going to follow that. And I'm going to put it right there. Okay, look ahead. So see, I stopped it right as that hooded lid was there. Close. Now I'm going to make it a thicker line. Now again, we're going to go back over this with some liquid, but for now, I want to be sure I get all this accurate.
And are you using an angled brush for this?
Yes, thank you for asking. So this is the number 266, I think. I'll put it down below. It's a slanted brush. Most lines make slanted brushes. This is a MAC brush, and this is great for eyebrows. It's also great for eyeliner, so I highly recommend something like this. Let's see. That looks great. And if you want to do a little underneath, you can look up. Well, no, we're going for the classic Audrey look. We're not going to do that close. Change my mind. As soon as I wanted to do it, I changed my mind. So we'll see. We'll do it all and then have a look at it and see what we think. Let's see. Nice. Okay. All right. I'm going to get my liquid liner and we're going to go back over it. To do the liquid eyeliner, I'm actually going to use a gel liner like this. This is a MAC gel. It's black. And then I'm going to use a very, very thin brush. This is number, I can actually read this one. It's 210. It's a MAC brush. Very, very, very small. You can also use a liquid eye pencil, you know, with the liquid liner. I'm not going to use that on Tiffany's today because I'm using my stuff from my kit and I can't reuse those. So this is why I'm using this type. But do what works best for you, okay? All right, so we're going to dip this in. I'm going to put this, can I put that right there?
Yep.
And I'm going to put a tiny bit on my hand. And the reason for that is I take off any excess. So at the end of the day, I generally have makeup like all over my hands, all over my clothes. It's really fun. Okay, close.
An artiste.
An artiste. All right, so I'm going to start at that outer edge and pull that in. And I'm going to make this line more defined. That's what liquid does. Liquid or gel liner makes it much more defined than a shadow. But I want that. You know, because Audrey had that lovely, very defined line. And we can't do it as defined as she did because I think as we get older, we need a little bit more softness. And that's why I think it's good to blend the shadow and the liquid at the same time.
And it's a bit more everyday to be more soft.
It is. Although it is fun to go to the grocery store with a little glamour.
Yes.
You know, and with the COVID, we can't go out as much. We can't go dancing. But we can put our black eyeliner on and go to the grocery store. Doggone it.
I know, I dress up for the mailbox these days.
I know, right? So that's the eyeliner on both eyes. And I think this looks so classic and so beautiful. But now I'm going to open up our eyes a little bit more. And we're going to take a little bit of, I think we're going to do this gold color right here. It's a very, very pale gold. And I did a little bit of highlight through there, but I feel like it needs a little bit more. So we're going to pump that up just a bit with this brush. This is a very stiff brush. This is, I'll have to put down below, figure out what brush this is because it's all rubbed off. But if you notice, I'm really putting that right in the crease and making that lighter. Open your eye. You see how much that opened her eye up. Boing! Just like that. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. This looks really good. Her eye is open, lovely cat eye, which Tiff looks awesome in. So now I'm going to do just a little bit underneath. I just want a little bit of shade, so I'm going to use this color right here. It's called Clay. And we're just going to go, look up. We're just going to go right underneath. I don't want to use the black liner. I was going to, if you remember, but I changed my mind because I felt like it would just be almost too much for her eyes. But this is just adding a tiny bit of color. Before we finish today, we're going to do some false lashes as well, so stay tuned for that. But here's the MAC Pro palette, and we're going to use this color right here just to take out a little bit of the under eye area here. Just a bit. Because Tiffany doesn't have really dark circles. Lucky dog.
Only with a night of vodka.
I know, right?
Then I wake up a little more haggard.
Vodka will do it. There, we're just going to tap that in very lightly underneath. And I'm going to go a little bit through here because everybody gets a little bit discolored right there.
Mm-hmm. Especially with all the smoke it's been.
Oh, yeah.
In Colorado.
Look at the forest fires. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we've done a little bit of concealer and I'm going to do some highlight. But before I do highlight, I'm going to do powder because if you put powder on top of highlight, it diminishes it. Mm-hmm. And we want to really have a lovely highlight. So I'm just going to do, this is a Dior powder with a tiny bit of rose in it, which I think goes really well with Tiffany's beautiful rose lipstick. So we're just adding a tiny bit of rose powder. Really pretty.
It smells amazing.
Yeah.
Although putting fragrance in your makeup's not the best
thing. I know.
It smells good going on.
A little toxic poison in our day. So now we're going to use the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Éclat. And if you watch my videos, you know I love this. I always said if there's a fire, I would grab this and then my children. It is one of my very favorite products. It's like $40, but it's amazing. So what we're going to do is tap this right in here. Now Tiffany does not have dark circles, but this just highlights. So the light hits it and it bounces and it makes it jump.
Yeah, you're a big fan of putting a highlight over the fine lines.
It depends on the highlighter. If they're not made well, if they're thicker, it looks really bad. It cakes, it sets in fine lines, but this one is wonderful. It doesn't. So I really love this one. Before we do lashes, we're going to pop a little bit of blush on. We're going to use this color here by MAC. I don't know what this is. I'll figure it out and put it down below, but right there. The reason is we're going for that very sheer, even if it's the fall, okay, just a sheer pink, and we're going to put this right near her eye, right here. And a lot of you go lower, right? And that's fine. But for this look, I want the eyes to be the total focus. So I'm really dancing around the eyes with this color just to bring it out, just to really bring out that eye. So for lashes, I'm going to use individual lashes. Now, many of you just spit up because individual lashes are really hard. Have you ever tried them?
Yes. Not well.
It's hard. It's hard to do on yourself. So I'm going to show you how I do them and hopefully that will help you. So I'm going to use these ones. If you can see, I hope it doesn't reflect too much, but you can see these are really long and I'm going to put these just on the outer edge. It's going to be pretty.
Okay. How exciting.
How exciting. So we're going to use Duo Lash Adhesive. Now I use my fingers. I always use my fingers. People say, no, use a Q-tip, use a tweezers. I don't. I've always used my fingers. I think it's just the way I've started doing it, and so that's the way I've continued to do it. I pull the lash off the container, just get the end with a little bit close, and then I just set it. Now you're just going to have to leave your eyes shut for a minute while I do this. I'm going to do only a few on the outer edge and see if I like it. And go from there. So these are pretty long. So Tiffany's really going to have some glamour. You're going to go upstairs with the kids and they're going to be like, Mom, what happened? We were just doing our homework and you came down and something happened. Okay. Now we're going to do a little mascara on top. This is Maybelline Great Lash, my go-to. Because it's cheap and it works. And you know, sometimes that's all that matters.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's cheap and good.
Oh.
Okay, close. Oh, not close, I'm sorry, just look down.
We should do a whole video on 80s cosmetic commercials.
Oh my God, absolutely. So we've done the false eyelashes with a little bit of mascara as well, and the lashes are only on the outer ledge, just those individual ones. I think this looks so classic and so beautiful. Now we're going to do a little bit of a French wave that's a little bit more modern. We could leave your hair like this because this is very classic and Audrey looking, but because we're 2020, we're going to do a little fall modern hair along with this, okay? So stay tuned. So this is the end result of Tiffany's hair having that light, just a light wave put in with volume. So I use my Oribe texturizing spray. Please watch the video where I just demonstrate on how I did her hair. But I love this with the very classic liner, winged liner look. I think this looks really modern because it's 2020 and we want some volume to our hair. Okay, we want a little bit of wave and we want volume. Back to the 90s, I think. But this looks really beautiful, very classic, very sexy. Okay, it's all about that today. But how do you feel, Tiffany?
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Going out.
Ready to go out. We're talking about we could go outside and like wave to the neighbors or something. That's all we're going to do today because, you know. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please write your questions down below. I always love to hear from you. And have an awesome day. And do your wing liner. Have fun. Play.